Alright, so we're going to be looking at our what is energy notes. So what is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. This is a very broad definition that covers lots of different types of energy that we're going to go over in our notes. We're going to go over 7 different types of energy. They should be mostly reviewed from 6th grade, but we'll go over each of them just to be sure. The first type of energy is mechanical energy. And mechanical energy has to do with the energy of an object due to its motion or its position. So whether it's moving or if it is in a position to where it could be moving, that has mechanical energy. Some examples of mechanical energy would be a football flying through the air, a baseball bat being swung, a roller coaster sitting at the top of a hill. Now, our mechanical energy really encompasses 2 parts. The first being that energy of movement or motion, and that is our kinetic energy. So anything that is moving or is in motion has kinetic energy. The other part of our mechanical energy has to do with the position. So potential energy is going to be energy that is stored, and that is based on position. So that is something that is not moving but has the potential to move. So this would be the roller coaster sitting at the top of the hill. It has lots of stored energy. If it has any nudge or anything happens, that gravity will take it and move it, but there is no actual movement taking place. And most objects that move have a mixture of potential or kinetic energy, and it changes as that object moves. And we have that shown here with our pendulum. If you lift a pendulum all the way up to the top, that has all potential energy. You're holding it at the top of its swing before it starts moving. When you let go, some of that potential changes into kinetic energy. And at the very bottom of the swing, it is all kinetic energy, and that's where it's moving the quickest. And throughout the swing of the pendulum, the potential and the kinetic energy are constantly switching back and forth as that potential or that position changes and as the speed or the motion changes. Our second type of energy is going to be radiant or light energy. Radiant or light energy is energy that travels by waves. It's also called electromagnetic energy. And on your worksheet that's in your notebook, you're going to work on this in class tomorrow. These are listed separately. Electromagnetic energy is the energy that travels by waves, and radiant is specific to just light energy. Some examples are going to be sunlight, X-rays, fluorescence, luminescence. Any energy that's traveling as light through waves is going to be that radiant energy. Sound energy is our third type of energy. And sound energy is energy that travels through particles. And that's energy that travels as sound. So examples are going to be things like thunder, fireworks, anything that has a loud sound. And we're going to talk more about sound waves later this year. But that sound energy travels by pushing the sound waves through particles. Our fourth type of energy starts with a C, and that's going to be our chemical energy. Chemical energy is going to be energy that is stored in the bonds of chemical compounds. It's energy that exists within a compound, and it's that potential for that compound to react. Examples are going to be food. All right, food is a big example of chemical energy. All food has energy stored inside of it, that when we eat food, we process that as a chemical reaction inside of our body, and we can use that energy to move and exercise and do things. Also, anything that's flammable has that energy in the chemical compounds, and when we light it on fire, we're breaking those compounds and using the energy. Our fifth type of energy starts with an E, and it's going to be electrical energy. And electrical energy has to do with the energy of moving electrons, and electrons move as current. This is one that I'm sure most of you are pretty familiar with. All right, electricity is energy that can be, examples are static shocks, lightning, any electricity that runs your appliances, your computer, your TV, all of that runs on electrical energy. Our sixth example of energy is nuclear energy. This is the one that we just got done going over in detail in class. And this is energy that's released during fission or fusion. And this is another type of stored energy. It's stored in the nucleus of an atom. And examples are going to be fission, which is in power plants or in the atomic bomb, or in fusion, that happens in the sun and stars, or in hydrogen bombs. Our last example is our T, and that's for thermal energy. And thermal energy has to do with how hot or cold something is. But scientifically, we call that the energy due to the kinetic energy or the movement of the molecules. The faster our molecules are moving, the warmer something is. And so our thermal energy really has to do with how fast are our particles or our molecules moving. So examples of things with thermal energy would be a hot stove, a warm cup of tea, a fire. Anything that's hot or warm to the touch has thermal energy, but really all molecules have thermal energy because they're all moving. So we went through each of the 7 types of energy listed on your paper, and if you notice, we gave you the first letter of each to help you fill in your notes, but also to draw attention to the first letter. We put them in this order for a reason. One way that you can remember these 7 main types of energy is to remember the anagram Mrs. Cent. So the first letter of each of these types of energy spells out Mrs. Cent, and that can help you remember all 7 forms of energy.